We will start with the short experiment before I will show you my results of the previous ones. And it's because I see that most of you have pretty good night, good sleep, and it's contrary to me because I'm a little bit stressed. But now I would like to make it even, so I would like to invite you to have an experiment. To conduct an experiment, each one of you needs to have a piece of paper and something to write on. So now it's a little bit social exercise to, if somebody do not have it, please ask someone near to you. Okay, thank you. Okay, now everyone that would like to take part in an experiment will be actually answering 3 simple questions and writing them down on the paper. Please stand up. Everyone that wants to take part in the experiment of the wisdom of the group, please stand up. Okay, so you're highly motivated, that's good. Don't worry, it's like nothing personal, it's wisdom of the crowd, so if you're not correct, it's always the fault of the other people, so don't worry. Okay, 3 simple questions. Now, the rules are like this. Please note down the numbers. If somebody will have all 3 numbers, please sit down, so I will know that I have all, I will know that all answers are there. So first question. This guy is from Spain. He has passed away recently. At the moment, just before he passed away, he was the oldest living man on the world. How old was he? Okay. Second question. That's the highest building in the world. I would like you to note down the meters, how high is it? And short help. Our small Empire State Building in Warsaw has 188 meters. 188. The building most of you know. How big is the highest building in the world? Okay, and the last question. Sorry for the picture, it's not mine, Fitz. But the question is about me. Amount of kilograms. What is my weight? How do you think? I intentionally dressed in black, you know, so. Yeah, sorry for the picture, but to be honest, I tried to find the men's feed on the weight, and it was the only one I could Google. All the others are girls. Okay, thank you for that. So if you have questions, answers, you can sit down. Okay, now a little bit of a story. It was 1906 or 1907 when Mr. Francois Galton visited the village of Plymouth, where there was an annual competition of weight judgment. The competition looks like that they had a ox on display, and the question was, what will be the weight of a meat out of this ox after slaughtering and undressing? It's a pretty silly question because I'm vegan, but I'm more interested in mathematical stuff of this. So most probably he used this hat. I will now put the answers you have on the cards into the hat during the meeting. Put it somewhere, yeah. Let's self-organize somehow. Okay, what he discovered was that among almost 800 votes, the middlemost amount value, which was actually the median, was very close to the reality. I had here a little bit shortcut to help my memory. So the real weight of the meat was 1,187 pounds, and the median of all votes were 1,207. So it was less than 1% of error. After some time, he also tried the mean value, and the mean value was actually exactly the same. At that point of time, he used it in the discussion of a value of democratic voting that actually the Vox Populi and the average amount of the values of the voices are actually more probably better than the biggest amount you take. 100 years passed, and one guy who is living on Brooklyn, and most probably he sees this picture very often when he goes to the work in the New York Timer and the New Yorker magazine. He runs their financial column, and he started with the experiment made by Mr. Galton before, and he made the same experiments with different aspects of our life, in business, in software development, and so on and so on. And he discovered that actually Mr. Galton was probably right, because Mr. Galton said that you need the diverse group of people to have the average value close to the reality. And this guy discovers another point that is important, that you have independent votes, as you did today. So each one of you put some vote, put in the head now. Most of you didn't check what others did, or maybe you discussed a little bit, but not so on. And this was my view when I was putting my my speech on the agenda here, and I decided, okay, I was in the mountains, that maybe I have enough data to share with you and tell you something interesting. So what happened? We have two things that are important: diverse group and independent voice decision. It was actually then proved in other researchers. There was two guys from universities in the United States that stated that actually the diverse group of problem solvers are always more accurate to the reality than the group of the best performers. You remember yesterday's speech of Paweł and Tomek about experts? Do you remember any questions from your teams that Scrum works only with the group of experts? Well, probably it doesn't. Another experiment that was made in the Technical University in Zurich proves that you need to have less discussion between people if you really want to have the average value estimated better, which is a little bit contradictory of what we are usually teaching people. So, like, you should discuss, then you go to the consensus. This research says that actually consensus might be not the best option. Okay, coming back to our experiment. I knew about this one, and I asked myself, what if I would give some context to the decisions, to the votes? You had three contexts today. First was, I only told you that that guy is from Europe. I could have this picture of a Japanese guy who died before him and he was older than him. But I wanted to check, okay, if he's the same culture like us, if your guess will be better. The second one was, I give you the data. Okay, everyone now says you need to have the data, decide on data. You have the data, you can compare, it's better. And the third one, simple question. You can see me, you even could touch me, but nobody tried. And that's it. I have 120 votes on this previously. This is part of the all voting. So the real value was 112. The mean and median was like this. So the error was 3.5. But actually, there was two groups that perform almost perfectly with their votes. 15 students, group of 6 Agilers, we made it on Zwinno with someone once. So there was the results. Other question was about my weight, and then the results are even better. Yeah, it was some years ago, sorry. But that's honest, yeah, it was, I think the last votes were somewhere like a year and a half ago. That's why also here votes was less, because I have introduced it later on. I was trying to think of the good example to compare. And the last were, and the groups. Here it was even better. We have two groups that were very, very close. And the last questions, when you have the data. Well, sorry. There was also one group that had the error of 4.5, so they were pretty close, but still. Don't get me wrong, I don't want you to tell you that now you should not use data, but I only want to tell you that data is not enough. If you go to planning meeting or refinement process with your Scrum teams, and you ask them, compare this to this, it might be not enough. It might be even very bad. It was the worst group I had. Agilers, sorry. Okay, so what is my point? That, okay, you need to have diverse group. It was, Pavel was speaking about it yesterday, about having more girls in the group. In different contexts, but also here. You have the diverse group of technical possibilities, communication skills, and etc., etc. You need to have independent decisions, so if somebody asks what is the role of the Scrum Master during the planning meeting when he actually is not estimating or discussing, is to facilitate, because maybe some discussions are too long and you don't need it because your estimate won't be better. But what is more important for me is that actually I think we should probe more than only count on data. Why? Because your answers, we will see what will happen with your answers, but my previous answers shows that if you have an experience, like you know how other people can, how many kilos they can weight, yeah? You know what is my weight. So I know the weight of my wife, so maybe this guy will weigh like this. It was the simplest question. You can see me, you can even touch me. This other one with the guy, context was, I mean, it was some kind of a picture. When I asked my wife, she asked, can you have a picture? I can see how his skin is. So you don't have enough data to, but it's still, you have some experience. You know more or less how old might he be. But I give you the data of the building, and it's just not enough. It's simply not enough, because you can use the data in a different way. So my last points for this is, refinement, for God's sake, is the process, not the meeting. If you want to have things refined, you need to experience them somehow. Use spikes. When I hear that people are doing MVPs that last for 3 sprints, for God's sake. It's totally, it doesn't give you nothing. It must be shorter. You need to do experiments. That's why when you have diverse groups, and I really like the topic of DevOps, which my friend Tomek is now speaking in another room from the same company, the DevOps is about experimenting. It's not about giving you the right data. It's about communicating and thinking about what can we improve, but based on trying. And the last part is that we should assure quality at the source. And by this, I mean, for example, you have in many companies feature teams. And after delivering feature, I was discussing it today with Ilona, I don't know if she's here. After delivering the feature, the teams is, let's say, close, people go to another team. Who the fuck takes care of the bugs? How that people might learn about the quality of what they are doing and have better view on their next processes, of their next sprints, not only on estimating. This estimating is just an example. It's about having your own experience. People need to know and their own bugs and repair them. Okay, so I will publish the results maybe in an hour on Twitter, so if somebody is interested, maybe we can print it out somewhere and put on the wall, I don't know. I'm very curious what will happen, and thank you very much. That's it.